Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 for Thursday, February the 16th, 2023. It really did appear today that the markets were kind of having a manic episode between having received some negative economic data before the market opened, going lower as the market opened, and as a result of that number, so from about 8:30 on, we did head down. But then the market decided, no. Bad numbers be damned. And they ran it. So we took it down to a pretty good low. In the S&P, I think it was about 4,100. And then it just turned and it just decided to roar, and it roared back to 4,150. And sat up there like, this is where we belong. And then the real fireworks began, and it dropped again all the way down to finish lower on the day. Not by a whole lot, but finish lower on the day. The Dow took it on the nose. The NASDAQ took it on the nose. News came out in Tesla. First, it was positive in terms of for the Model Y, inventory had been sold out. Great for the stock. So they decided to pump up the vol and push it higher. And so it ran all the way up to 217 in an effort to try to get up to 220. And a little bit after that, just about right into that last hour, so about 3 o'clock, Tesla reports that there is a large recall of models with self-driving capabilities and recall and a fix. So there's been problems, as we know, with the self-driving aspect of Tesla and the accidents and a lot of problems. Well, then the stock decided, no, we're not going to go up anymore. And it decided to lose $12 or $14. And off the high, it actually was 17 because it was up. It would have been up that much. In any case, what I'm going to do is on the very short-term charts, like we're talking like, the 5, the 15, the 30, the hourly chart, they are very dramatic because these are big moves. And when you're there trading it and the amount of points equating into dollars that these indexes are moving are quite a bit. And there are then all the auxiliary indexes, ETFs that are attached to these indexes. And they're all going nuts. And some of them are ultra shorts, ultra longs. And so you get that extra beta push going on in there. And it can be really crazy, really very crazy. So I step back and I go out to the daily to go, okay, what can we do? What are we doing? What are the capabilities of the market from here? And so I want to start by looking at the daily when you can see that was it, folks. That's the move today. Now it's like, that doesn't look quite so bad now, does it? Right? We're still in this B wave going up. We still have the potential that we could turn and go above 4,208, 209, which is what we're looking for in a fifth wave. Then today comes along. It still actually can carry that potential. But it really can't go down very much more. If we break below the low of that fourth wave, and that's going to be at 4,078, then is it? Yeah, I think so. No, take that back. 4,060. If we start to break below 4,060, then it's going to change the entire structure. And I'll go into that in just a moment. But if we hold here, so on the daily, we're just barely kind of coming in to park right above the 20 moving average. If it can hold that and turn, good news. We'll probably be just fine. If it really starts to drop quickly and breaks below it and holds below it, then it's likely going to change the picture. So let's quickly go over what we could be going through if the market holds. First thing I'm going to do, and I'm just going to put these back on because I'm going to take them off. We have wave C calculations. One of the tops is right here. So anywhere around 4207, 4209, 10, 11, 12, 15, all would work. If we get a turn and we finish this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go, be done, rejection. That's what I think will happen, because you see the reality when it ticks in, when it comes in, they do a very quick turn. So that would remain the case. If they decide, nope, we want it up here, they got 1 day, I think, to do it. And that's going to be the expiration. Otherwise, it all changes. All the positions will change. All the positions will have to change because the market is. So, and that just puts it out, not that necessarily that the market will rally again next week, but it changes how they're going to view next week as well, because they're going to start rolling things into that week and setting it up. So again, derivatives remain supreme and hold center court, actually, in terms of trading. So the upside, we have all of these levels still in the picture. They really are. But the urgency of having to get there, they can't decide, well, we'll take it and we'll do it next week. So continuing to break down from here does change the structure and set up a different pattern. So as far as pattern recognition, I think that's telling me that if it breaks below that low, and then again at 40.50, we should be done with this fifth wave. Now, to talk about that, I want to just remove this because now I need to come down. If it starts to break down, now we're here on the, let's go down to the 4-hour chart. What we would be completing is, again, minor wave C and intermediate wave B. So we'd be looking for the start and the movement within an intermediate C wave down. So where does that B and the B wave end? Right there. This remains on the 4-hour chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that being the case, it's a failure. Now, some people are kind of looking at this as the formation of a triangle. I have a problem with this. To me, it counts as 5 on the 4-hour chart. So that's why I would call it a failure. And we start our down cycle here. It's still in its infancy, which is why, and well, I can leave this 4 here, and that's 1, A, B, C, 2. And then we go. So now you see both sides there. A further breakdown from here and a break below there changes this to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 standalone. It's a 5 and a C and a B and a failure. And this is 1, 2. 1, A, B, C, 2, we're dropping in a third. And we would probably be in that 3 of 3, because this, when I bring it down to the hourly chart, really does kind of look like 2-ish. 1, 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, that's a nice start to a third wave, I got to think. 1 of 3, a little 2 of 3, 3 of 3. So it could get ugly, and it could get ugly fast. That's the message. Doesn't necessarily have to. We could freak everybody out and just turn and go higher. But I'm saying if we break below that 40.60, it may pick up a lot of steam. Remember, 40.60 also was today a volatility breakpoint, which means if it went below 40.60, it's going to trigger a whole bunch of sellers. So I think that would remain the same. And now you're seeing right where it lines up. It lines up at the 4th wave. So a break below there puts our failure into place and signals the strength to come in. And if it happens, we're going to want to catch it. That much I can say. Then we shouldn't be afraid. I got to term this correctly. We still have to be intelligent about how we enter the orders and what we're willing to ride on, because the intra-volatility inside that move will be vicious. So in other words, you can enter a trade and maybe you're just a tad late and they decide to run it. Doesn't mean it's going to run all the way back up, but it could go from your entry point 10, 20 NASDAQ dollars. In the S&P, it could run 10 or 12, even 15. S&P points against you. Do you really want to hold on to a trade for that? No. You're looking to go in and make a quick $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, not give it. But depending on your account and everything else as to how well you can handle it and how skilled you are really reading the price action, seeing what's coming in and seeing what it's affecting and what may be coming on behind of it. So in any case, I am going to be on the lookout for that. So if we're going to start going down, now I want to add some, because that's really, if that's going to be the case, what we're really starting to look for is I'm coming down and I'm going to put up extensions for downside, right? Because what I'm looking for is a C wave. What's its nearest neighbor? The A wave. First, I got to go from the start of the, oh, come on. I like being very precise. Oh, it's not. It's going to do it the other one. All right, I'm going to leave it this time. Let's not go crazy. That's not the A. I want to go over here. I can put it there, but I'm actually, if I'm going to consider it a failure, then that's where I'm going to put it. So again, 5 failure, 1, 2, 1, 2. And we'll get to that second 1, 2. But now we're starting to look at, this would be for the C wave. C comes in at 100%, that C equals A at 33.78. Normally a C wave, I would expect not only is it going to break that low, but it should really put in, because we're looking for a primary A finishing point. And that likely brings us down into here, possibly down that low. It could, but I'd be looking for like 2980. 3,068 to 2980 would be more where I would be looking for the support to finish the C wave, right? That's what I'm measuring out, the C wave. Now let's drop this down and let's just take a peek. All right, what can this third wave look like if that's what we're dropping into? So let's open this up a little bit, and I'm going to put 2 on it this time. But you could put the first one that's going to run it from here to here. But I'm going to put the second one up first because it's more. What we're looking for is the second 1, 2. Right, so here we're definitely looking like we could drop quickly down to that 4,000 area. Now let's look at it a little bit different on a total, not just the breakdown within 3, but a 1, 2, and that what the whole third should look like. We'll go there, to there, to there. So again, same diff, but now we're coming in, and guess what, right? We're not really all that different in terms of height and depth. So we got both coming in kind of the same areas. So I'm thinking we could drop to 4,000 pretty quickly and actually probably drop below 4,000 before we come back up into 4 and then come. Now, how quickly can that happen? Well, as is often the case, it takes a lot less to go down than it does to go up time-wise. When everybody wants out, they are out. When everybody wants in, they decide they want to hold it up till the last one gets to sell, I guess. I don't know. But when it's time to get out, they just all want to head for the door. So again, that's pretty congested, but you can see where they all start to line up. We have lots here. We have starting coming off from where we are. We have 4,100 down to 4096, 4090, 4085, 75, 65. It goes in tens. 65, 58. Then we get a little cluster. 58, 53, 48. That could be just the third. Maybe we do a 4. I don't know. We'll see. Just thoughts, right? Because we're in the 3. So it's 1, 2 on top of a 1, 2. So now we're inside the third. So maybe this third brings us down into this cluster. We do a 4, then we get a 5, which brings us down into these clusters, and that 5 is for this larger third. Then we rally again, and then we drop one more time. So there's a lot of fibs, but you can really work your levels into, and what I mean by that is like we're working a particular move. How far, how deep can it go? Well, I stack it up. Now, there's no guarantee that it's going to stop there. There's no guarantee that it'll stop anywhere, but we can get ideas. And then if it starts to go, then we know we can draw additional fibs that would cover any retracements. And we get to keep the count. So when the count can become clear and it's in an impulse, which is what a C wave actually turns into, right? Because it's 5 waves. So it's impulsing. Now it's impulsing down. It's kind of letting itself be known. We still need one more confirmation, unfortunately. But I think we'll get it. So that's the S&P. Let me take some of this off because I want to take a look at our moving averages. And let me take this one off. Here's our moving averages. Still, after today, on the hourly, flat as a pancake. Look at that. Bing, bing, flat as a pancake on the 200. That's how fast it went. They didn't even give it an opportunity. The 4 and the 8 are like, get out of the pool. They're screaming. The 20's like turning, going like, wait, wait. And the 50's going like, what's going on? And the 200 is still on cruise control for flat. That can change pretty quickly. If we get hit again pretty hard, guaranteed that these roll, and this picks up. They all pick up steam. The ones you're going to want to pay attention to are the 4 and the 8, particularly the 8. When the 8 will go, they'll go. And then if we start to rally, the first it's going to break, of course, is the 4. But when it breaks the 8, it's going to pick up steam. And that could be nothing more than just a pullback, but tradable. All right. Over in the NASDAQ, we're going to go through the same exercise. And it's the same deal. Now here, I did label it a little bit differently because it is a possibility that all of this mishmash is actually the subminute wave 1. And if that's the case, wave 2 could be done. But you see how it looks pretty bizarre to be doing that. And it can't really drop much further. So I'm going to take those off and basically feel that they're not valid, is what I'm basically saying. But I can leave this a 4, and it gets to fail there. Didn't go up and take that high out, but it got all the way up to there, and I could count that as a 5. And it's ugly, it's nasty, but I 10 to 1 it could work. And so that's where I would put the 5, and it would be a failure here as well. S&P's different. S&P's very different in terms of the structure. Same moves, but the structures are different. So the NASDAQ would be here, and then this is a 1, 2. And we're just starting into that third. So let's put that into play. If we're going to stick the 5 there. And I'm going to leave it open because I'm telling you the other side of the count is that it's got to stop right where it is. Don't go too much further and just turn and run up, run up. Further declines, further weakness is not going to sit pretty. And they're looking like they're going to try to open this pretty much unchanged to a little higher. Don't ask me why. But here we are. So let's put in, under the assumption that that's it, we've reached our top. And this, on the other hand, let me just go out 1 and see where this is connected. That's for the C wave up. So let me bring it back down to the 4-hour, open this up again so we can take a peek. In that this would be for the C wave, which actually we would consider done right there. So I'm going to take that off. And now we're going to run what we think we'll get. Yeah. First thing I'm going to do, and I'll run it to there for the first downside, and then we can add into it. So we're going to go there, to there, to there. And now I'm going to bring this back down to the hourly chart. And we can correct that just a tad. I'll do it. 790. And let me go right here, edit properties. And it finishes at 790. 790. We'll just call it that. Brings it up just a tad. All right. So precision. Now, we're now measuring for wave C here on the NASDAQ. Well, there's the first. That wave A would be wave C would be equal to wave A at 9,595.25. So what index do you think is going to get hit harder? The S&P or the NASDAQ? I think might be the NASDAQ. The damage could be very, very heavy here. It would look like we're just getting started. Now that's the whole big C wave. Now we're down to the hourly chart. Let me open this up a little bit because I'm going to have to do one more, and we're going to do a 1, 2. What does this 3? And this could be just wave 1 of C, right? We're falling in the first 5 for wave 1 of C. And so we're going to go there to there to there. And we're already 12,400 is where wave 1, if this is 1, wave 3 would be equal to 1. I think we go further. We're at, right, they've just reopened, and we're already down. We're opening down 30. So remember, that's our target. We don't want to see it below there. So basically, is our next support. 100% is where it absolutely has to stop and not go any further before it breaks that, which is 390. So really, it's got to stop there if it still wants to see upside, and it may. In any case, here we go. If we're going to continue to break down, we start to break. Here's where I think we could end up, and that would just be the third of this absolute first 5 down. And we get a little push, and we come back, and we're likely going to end up down in here. Maybe break below 12,000. And what's that from where we are? 300-400 points. And it could be, you saw how fast we added it, could take it all back. And it could end up down there. And again, we're counting just the first 5. Now, moving averages, we broke on the hourly chart, we broke both of the 200s, and everything else is catching up. So again, I'm going to go up to the 4-hour. Let's take a look. We have on the 4-hour chart, I got to take these off because they're going to make me nuts. If I can't see them, I can't see them, but I want to see them. Okay, so there. You see they're still rising. This is just on the 4-hour chart breaking below the 50, which it did during our trading session today. And now it's trading below. So, and everything else is catching up. These are starting to go flat from their pretty much from rising, they're going more flat, which is indicative of what's happening. And then they will curve and go lower if they all start to break down below it. But I would think that these don't change until this breaks below. They'll go flat, so they'll act as support until we get broken. So we're going to put those back up in there as well. So that's really the picture. Tomorrow is expiration. Again, no real big numbers. Tesla's going to be definitely in play. Definitely in play. It's breaking below 1,200. I mean, 200. And here we have Tesla, right? Trading below, continuing to head lower. Bing, 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 right? 215s, get me out, get me out. 220s, holy crapola. But I was looking at the 200s. And when I was looking at the 200, they were being offered at like 1170, 1180, almost $12. And that was with the stock above 202. So it was probably closer to like 209, 210. And they still had a lot of premium in them. And the puts were under $1. So the premium is shifting, and it'll shift more, and these will get very rich. Right now, there's a little bit of premium, but it'll get bigger. And you saw the the covering, just buy puts. And it could be a combination of things, but in any case, we've got this big change going. And the stock, 227 million. So it's could get heavy. Could get heavy quickly. I'm just going to look at Microsoft, which also got hit pretty hard today. And this is one of those stocks that would be involved in the vol trigger because of the size of the money that got pushed into it. Took it from what, 255, 259, somewhere in there, up to 276, I think. And now we're closing at 262. So a lot of changes. And these all expire tomorrow. We saw that volatility hike up, which it did. I'm sorry, I meant to look at Tesla's too. Yeah, it's closer to 100. It was down a little bit lower before, it just popped, and now it is just screaming. So Apple, 156, which brought all that up into the 155s. Look what happens. Here they go. Nope, we're not going to go there. Now we're in trouble. So that what they do, they get out as quickly as they got in. So it's doubled, more than doubled. This is like even worse. The 157.5's out of the picture. And we traded to 156, which put the pressure on those. Now it's reversing. So if this continues, this will be down. This has the potential that it literally could just start to drop quickly from 155, 152.5. So this, they're holding it up. We get down there and we start going through 150, it'll go quick. It will go quick because we got the puts. So that's the story. Have a great trading day tomorrow. Stay on your toes. Keep your rules very close. Keep them close, particularly when what you're willing to, you're going to have to maybe move your stops. There's no sense in really trying to play against what the market is doing while you're waiting to see if your stop's going to get taken out because you're not sure that it's turned. Literally, I will try my best to really keep a close eye. If somebody's like really in question and you leave a comment or something, I'll try to get back to you. But I might be busy trading. And of course, then I have my own trade room in the morning. In any case, have a great trading day tomorrow. This is expiration. Next update will be on Sunday, the 19th.